Alright, so from previous videos we learned how to solve equations. In this video we're going to talk about solving inequalities. And actually you already know how to solve inequalities because solving inequalities is almost exactly the same as solving equations. In a later video we're going to learn about a slight difference when we have to multiply or divide by a negative number, but we don't have to worry about that in this video. I didn't put any of that in this video, so let's just get right to it. What I'm going to do now is solve this inequality and then I'm going to graph the solution on this number line. So let's get to it. I see over here that there is a +1 on the same side as the variable, so I want to get the variable alone, so I want to get rid of that +1. The inverse of addition is subtraction, so I will subtract 1. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, so I will subtract 1 from this side also. What happens? Well, the +1 and the -1 cancel, so all I have left on this side is 2x, which means 2 times x. I keep the inequality symbol, and -9 minus 1 is -10, because if I start at -9 on the number line, and I go one space to the left, then I end up at -10. Now I want to get rid of this 2. Well, the 2 is being multiplied with the x. Whenever you see a number written right next to a variable, that implies multiplication. So to get rid of that, I have to divide by 2 on both sides. So on this side, I'm going to be just left with x, keep the inequality, and now I have -10 divided by +2 gives me a -5. And so this is the solution. X is greater than, because it's on the side with the mouth, x is greater than or bigger than -5. So we can graph that simply by putting an open circle above -5 and then shading everything to the right. Let's look at another example. Now we can check this just like we can check an equation. So let's pick any number bigger than -5. What's your favorite number? I don't know. I like the number 7. When I was a kid, 7 was my lucky number. So let's pick 7. I'm going to plug that 7 back in for x, and then we'll see if this makes sense. So what we're going to get is -9 is less than 2 times 7 plus 1. Is that true? -9 is less than 14 plus 1. -9 is less than 15. Is that true? Is -9, which is over here, is that less than 15, which is, well, my number line doesn't go that far, but it would be over here somewhere. Yes, of course, -9 is less than 15. 15 is bigger than -9. So it works. In fact, if you plugged in any one of these numbers, not just up to 10, but 11, 12, 13, 14, a million, 2 million, if you plugged in any one of these numbers in for x here, you would get something that is true. It would work. And maybe when you're done watching this video, you might want to try it yourself, or maybe pause the video right now and try it yourself. Any one of these numbers over here would work, or even more. Let's look at one more example. Okay, yuck. I see a plus minus here, and I want to get rid of that right away. Whether I'm simplifying expressions, or solving equations, or solving inequalities, no matter what I'm doing, whenever I see a plus minus or a minus minus, I want to get rid of that right away. So let me do that first. Just going to circle this plus minus, draw a little arrow here, and plus minus will simply become minus. And let me just copy everything else down. So I have now x over 3 minus 6 is less than or equal to negative 6. Alright, it looks a little bit better now. Again, I want to get this variable alone. I want to get it by itself, which means I want to get rid of everything that's on the same side. So first I want to get rid of this minus 6. Now the inverse of subtraction is addition. So to get rid of that, I'm going to have to add 6 to this side. And I also have to do the same thing on the other side. So I'll add 6 to this side as well. So that cancels there. I have x over 3 is less than or equal to... Now, over here, I have negative 6 plus 6, so this also cancels. That doesn't always happen, but it happened here. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. So I'm going to get 0 here. And now I want to get rid of this 3. Well, this is x divided by 3. The inverse of division is multiplication. So I want to multiply this by 3, which means I have to also multiply this side by 3. So this cancels over here, and I'm left with just x over here is less than or equal to... Now, 0 times 3 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. So we have 0 over here. So this is the solution to our inequality. X is on the side with the point, which means it's less than the other thing. So, and we also have this line here, so it could also be equal to it. So we have that x is less than or equal to 0. So to graph that, we're going to put a circle above 0 on the number line. Now, since x might be equal to 0, we want to shade this circle in. So now it is a closed circle. And since x might be less than 0, we want to shade everything to the left. So there you have it. X could be anything less than or equal to 0. Again, we can check to make sure that these numbers are the solutions to this original inequality. So what's your favorite number here? In this case, we can even pick the number that we circled, because we have this telling us that x might be equal to 0. So let's pick 0. So plugging 0 back in for x, we would get 0 over 3 plus negative 6 is less than or equal to negative 6. Now, plus minus becomes minus, so we get 0 over 3 minus 6 is less than or equal to negative 6. Now 0 divided by 3 is just 0. So we have 0 minus 6 is less than or equal to negative 6. And of course 0 minus 6, if we start at 0 on the number line and we move 6 spaces to the left, then we get negative 6. So finally we have negative 6 is less than or equal to negative 6. Is that true? Yes, it is true. Because we have this part over here. So negative 6, it's not less than negative 6, but it is equal to negative 6. So yes, this does work. And if you want to pause the video, or when you're done watching the video, you can try any one of these numbers as well. And you don't have to stop there. You can try negative 11, negative 12, whatever you want to try. Or even a decimal, negative 4.2, negative 9.8, whatever you want to try. Put it in here for x, and you'll find that whatever you get is going to, whatever you get on this side of the inequality will be less than or equal to negative 6. Actually, it'll be less than negative 6 because I already showed you the one that would be equal to negative 6. But anyway, I think I'll stop it there. I hope what you should come away with from this video is just that you can solve inequalities, in the same way that we solve equations. You've seen stuff like this before, where you do inverse operations on both sides. You solve inequalities in almost exactly the same way that you solve equations. In a later video, we'll talk about multiplying or dividing by negative numbers. When we do that, we're going to have to flip the inequality sign. But I won't give any examples like that here. I'll save that for another video. Have a great night.